60% of American citizens now in crisis mode. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting pulling punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. Just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats, hold on to your glasses as we blow the lid off yet another hot topic. It would appear. Didn't you remember hearing this? Remember, I think it was Fed Chair Powell, which was just handed down from somebody else for him to say anytime he got behind camera. Everything's orchestrated. These aren't forward thinkers, critical thinkers thinking for themselves. Somebody behind the scenes constantly. Americans are much more financially fit right now. We see a lot of strength. No, you don't. You saw money injections create the wealth effect and people feel like maybe they were rich on paper because the housing market, poof, blew up and got into another bubble, creating the wealth effect. Hello, come on. That is exactly what happened here. Well, new reports are in. Mr. Powell, not good. Not good for you because you know why? You inflated artificially due to market manipulation, the money printer, the biggest asset class in the world. The U.S. housing market, you dropped interest rates and made me an essential worker and sent me out to oversell homes. And then you let it go. You kicked the can down the road the minute this exhibited bubble behavior, the minute mainstream media got on their news programs, started reporting about the red hot housing market and interest rates are historically low and agents telling, the best way to it is right. Shame. But we'll get out of the problem in the solution. Forward thinking, critical thinking. First step of getting past the problem, admit there's a problem. That was a big problem. I'm sorry to be the one that has to tell it to you and give it to you straight. Over 60% of the population now can't keep up with inflation. They're living paycheck to paycheck. That's an astonishing stat that's now coming in. The U.S. savings rate is at an all-time low because now they say they want unemployment numbers to rise. They think that'll fix inflation. No, it won't because you let this go too long. Inflation is now ingrained into the fabric of our economy. It's going to take years for us to dig this, if we even can. There's no guarantee anything you guys are doing now will, in fact, fix inflation. All it's guaranteed to do is cause a lot of pain for a lot of U.S. citizens, especially the people that believed your narratives or the narratives that were at least produced out of what the decisions you made. And they went and bought a house in a housing bubble. Every time a housing bubble has been produced, it's produced a downturn, a crash, a recession. And every time that's happened, a foreclosure crisis has been produced. So a symptom of what I just spoke about is when you get reports in now that over 60% of American population, our American citizens, are living paycheck to paycheck, my friends. They're one flat tire away from a tailspin. When you get a report that 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 in cash reserves to weather a storm, it's because they're keeping up with inflation and house payments. You overheated the cost of housing, whether it's rent or own, and it couldn't sustain itself. It's reversing course right now. We're watching it. In fact, reverse course. Unfortunately, many people didn't understand boom cycles and bust cycles. We just went through a huge mega boom cycle, the biggest one ever recorded in world history. So anybody minimizing the severity of that clearly has financial gains in these markets and drank the Kool-Aid and needs these markets to continue, or they're in the same boat as their clients. That's just the realities. I've always said I'm recession insulated, but I don't know if I'm necessarily recession proof. I'll suffer. I'll feel the effects of this. I just know I'm going to operate much more efficiently, and so will you, because we acknowledged the elephant in the room. This is a housing bubble, regardless of how it was produced. It's exhibited bubble behavior, and it's clearly reverse course. So we identified the top of the biggest bubble ever produced in world history. It now becomes What level of a downturn will be produced? Recession, correction, depression? Take your pick. If anybody's telling you no risk here at all, run for your financial life. So when I see 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and 60% don't have $1,000, that's a recipe for disaster. As now what the current theme of our government is to create job losses. And we're seeing the reports roll in. And who's losing their jobs? Yeah, you guessed it, the white-collar wage earner, the people that buy homes. It's all circulating. Gosh, it's insane to me, right? Like, are we the only ones awake right now? Many people stuck in the problem when they're saying that this time is different. You're stuck in the problem, my friends. You better wake up and smell the coffee pretty quick here, because you're about to walk into a recession where a narrative you've been preaching is about to no longer be able to be preached. And then you're going to try to sugarcoat it again. Why? Because everybody wants to be an expert in their field. But if you haven't lived through these times before, you're not an expert. You're just a mouthpiece, lip service, whatever the case may be. I don't trust people that have financial gain and won't admit that this has crash behavior written on it. Corrections, recessions, and economic depressions. To be quite clear on this one, friends, everything needed to produce an economic depression was produced. It required a crisis to light the fuse. And then the behavior that rolled in after is, in fact, the same thing that happened in the last Great Depression. Many similarities. And, in fact, those depressions have cycled approximately every 100 years. The last depression was approximately 100 years ago. And final thoughts. I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history couldn't sustain itself. It's now reversed course. When you get a report that American citizens are living paycheck to paycheck in the tune of over 60%, that's not good numbers. Those are not people that are going to be able to weather the coming storm. When people's savings rates are at an all-time low, almost 60% of them don't have $1,000 in cash reserves or one flat tire, a hiccup away from a tailspin. Those aren't good numbers either. See, we want to heed to the warnings. We don't want to bury our heads in the sand and have blinders on. You know, I've always said, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Then you come out somewhere in the middle. You have to acknowledge the clear and present dangers. Then if they play out, you'll be able to operate within it more efficiently. I want us to operate within this efficiently, but first thing we have to do is prepare ourselves for a potential storm. There's one on the horizon, friends. Buckle up and strap in. I'm going to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I'm going to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.